edition.
Tonight we start with an update on the deadly Florida school shooting. We are hearing from students, some of them locked in their classrooms and under their desks, also their parents, about how they couldn't do anything but wait and pray for the best.
Reporter Paul Mueller is live at one of the several hospitals where the injured and dead were taken. Paul, what are the latest numbers?
The victims brought to several area hospitals, including this one, Broward General North. Also brought here the suspect, who was checked out and then carted off to jail.
I was really scared. All my friends were scared. We were hiding behind the desks.
For 10th grader Joe Santos and thousands of other students, a typical day at school turned into a tragic lesson he'll always remember.
It was terrifying for me. It's a moment that I'll never forget in my life.
Santos and his class ran for cover to the auditorium. An hour later, the SWAT team rushed in, and then came the all clear, while his mother raced to the school and could do nothing but wait.
I was really scared.
So many people in fear, both parents and students not knowing what could happen next.
Said he heard the footsteps of the killer and that he was in the same building and on the same floor as the killer.
Finally, when the suspect was caught about an hour later after the incident began, students were allowed to go home.
When you finally were reunited, when you finally were brought back together as mother and son, what was that like?
Oh, it's wonderful. Yeah.
He said the whole class was lucky to be alive. They were thankful they're alive.
Grateful to be alive while realizing they could have wound up dead.
I'm lucky to be here talking to you right now.
Now the death toll, well, it could rise. At this hospital alone, 3 students are in critical condition. Their parents praying that they survive. In Fort Lauderdale, I'm Paul Mueller. Back to you.
We warmed up today. This weather, though, will be short-lived. The fluctuation will be flaring up your allergies. Fox 25 talked with an allergy doctor. She says the shifts can make allergies worse, but it's not the temperatures doing it. It's actually the wind. As the fronts push through the weather, they also push pollen in.
Most of the time we have strong winds, which will bring the cedar pollen from the southern part of United States, from Mexico as well. So from Texas, we'll have a lot of cedar pollen coming in here as well.
So what can you do? If you're allergic to tree pollens, you can pre-medicate with over-the-counter medications to prevent symptoms from starting. You can also stay indoors if the pollen counts are high, use an air purifier, and do nasal rinses.
Good evening, everyone. Besides the winds and the allergies today, really hard to complain about your Valentine's Day. 60s, 70s, and 80s. You see these 80s to the northwest. I think some of these things will find their way into central and southern Oklahoma for tomorrow. Strong winds all throughout your Thursday will shove those high temperatures to near record levels. So we're talking about winds from the south-southwest at 15 to 30, sometimes gusting up to 40. So if it's trash day, your cans may get knocked around pretty good or maybe even knocked over. So please keep that in mind. As far as the fire danger is concerned, near critical tomorrow. It lowers but still high Friday, Sunday, and Monday. Only 57 tonight. Spotty rain is possible north and east. Strong cold front Friday morning. That means rain and snow chances. Your Storm Watch 7-day in just a few.
Jeff, thank you. Some special deliveries made to fast food workers for Valentine's Day. One man and a group of students he mentors handed out chocolates and flowers to those who may not get any. Fox 25's Will Metzold is live with how he has continued to spread love. Will.
Well, Mike, this all began in 2009 as a program called Fast Food Valentines. Taylor Doe got the idea when he was a student at OU in Norman. He's gone out to fast food restaurants every year since then. He's now delivering the gifts right here in Oklahoma City. For the past 3 years, he's been bringing along students he mentors at Metro schools. He says he noticed they already have a giving spirit. Tonight, the group dropped off gifts at 15 restaurants.
Fast food workers aren't appreciated, and so we, one night a year at least, want to say, hey, we see you, we appreciate you, thank you for all you do, thank you for working hard, and just encourage them in that way.
This is the 3rd year this group has come to the same stretch of restaurants. They say they always get good reactions, and the people here ask if they're going to come back the next year and do it again. And this is also the first year the boys rented out tuxes for the delivery. Now, similar programs have already been started in other cities across the state. Mike.
Well, thank you. Good look in Texas, too. Now, there have also been fast food Valentine's programs started in several other cities. This includes Enid, Bartlesville, Tulsa, and Bixby.
Body cam video released today in a deadly officer-involved shooting that was ruled justified. A Potawatomi County deputy shot and killed 39-year-old Jonathan Leroy last month. The deputy had responded to a domestic dispute call when he saw Leroy walking on the side of the road with a baseball bat. Leroy lunged at the deputy with the bat in hand, leading to the shooting. The DA says the body cam footage helped them rule the shooting quickly. In honor of Black History Month, Oklahoma City is recognizing the department's first black firefighters. The city hired the men in 1951 in exchange for the support of civil rights leaders in an upcoming bond election. Those 12 firefighters broke major barriers, and some went on to hold important leadership positions within the department. The road was a difficult one, and their perseverance is still inspiring firefighters today.
Well, we've all heard the old adage, if you don't know your history, you're bound to repeat it. So if we can learn from the past, we can maybe steer away from some of the pitfalls and make things better for those that come behind us, just as those guys did before us.
Today, there are 51 black Oklahoma City firefighters. That's about 5% of the department. Oklahoma City says they want that department to become more diverse.
A son finally received closure after his father went missing 60 years ago. Sergeant First Class Alfred Benzinger served in the Korean War as member of Company D, 2nd Engineer Combat Battalion. He officially was reported missing in action on December 1st in 1950. Clayton says he tried to prepare himself for this moment, but that all changed when his father's casket arrived.
This whole thing is just amazing to me. Just in shock about the whole thing. And yet I've had all this time to prepare and to think that, you know, it wouldn't be a big deal to me, but it is major in my life.
Benzinger will be interred at Fort Sill National Cemetery this Friday. Now to Tulsa, where students at a local high school walked out of class around 9:30 this morning. Students walked out of Edison High School protesting the school, and its atmosphere had been going downhill. According to a meeting last week, there is an apparent lack of respect between faculty and students. A production company is looking for actors right here in Oklahoma for a major motion picture. Auditions happening this weekend.
Fox 25's Maria Garcia tells us who specifically they're looking for. It's tonight's Community Focus.
It's a major opportunity for actors and singers in Oklahoma, but movie producers tell me that they're also looking for untapped natural talent, but you do need to be able to speak Spanish. A new major motion picture will be shot in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Levite Studios and Teletool Media Group, both based in Tulsa, are behind the film, The Nation of Butterflies. Their casting call went viral, and producers say they expect people to drive in from across Oklahoma for an audition. Felipe Oyarzo and Antonio Perez are film producers, and Oyarzo spoke with Fox 25 over the phone today.
We're going to give work to a lot of people, and that's good, you know, especially people who are talents or who have the natural talent to be in a movie, but also professional actors, actresses.
Producers say actress Sandra Echeverria will be part of this film, and she's been featured in Telemundo and is known for her performances in major pictures such as Book of Life, Secret Life of Pets, and the Will Ferrell movie Casa de mi Padre. The film needs some 50 actors and actresses, as well as extras of all ethnicities and ages, from infants to several acting opportunities for people over 60. Auditions start Saturday at 10 a.m. and people who are coming in from out of town will be allowed to audition first. Maria Garcia, Fox 25 News.
A recent report found the ongoing opioid epidemic has cost the United States more than $1 trillion.
Circus Allison Moss recently traveled to one county in Indiana where residents have seen the effects up close.
There's a lot of reasons why a guy or girl gets involved in drugs and drug trafficking, but certainly one of the considerations is financial needs. You know?
Keith Gasco has seen Madison County, Indiana change firsthand.
It's not hard to imagine 30 years ago, 40 years ago, all these people working over here at the local factory, raising their families. Now look at it. You can get any flavor of dope you want in this neighborhood.
This is life in some parts of the Rust Belt, battling economic hardship and the opioid epidemic all at once. Located 40 miles north of Indianapolis, Madison County has one of the highest rates of fatal drug overdoses in the state. But it wasn't always this way. In the 1970s, Madison County was a hub of the auto industry, with more than 20,000 people employed at General Motors in Anderson.
That's what fed my family growing up, was that money from General Motors, and then slowly that began to disappear.
By 2006, there were less than 3,000 people employed at the plant, and today there are 0.
When I was little, of course, everybody worked at GM, and that's going to be your number one thing you hear all the time. But GM's not here any longer, so they need to, we go on.
And the numbers don't lie. In Madison County in 2016, the poverty rate was 17.5%, and the median household income is $14,000 less than the national average. But the community hasn't lost hope, as new businesses and manufacturers have started to move back in.
I see a lot of young people, anywhere from 20 to 40 years old, and they're revitalized downtown, and it's really a neat thing to see.
For Circa, I'm Allison Moss.
And really big temperature swings the next 5 to 7 days. Dressing is going to drive you crazy. I want to sort out all the details and numbers coming up next.
Jeff, thank you. We have had hundreds of pictures sent in showing us your Valentine. Tonight, we are sharing the love and the pictures as well. Here's a couple of them right now we'd like to share with you. Oh, that's a cute one right there with a little baby and a heart-shaped one. Love these. Now, the entire album, if you would like to check them out, can be viewed on our website at okcfox.com. We hope everyone had a fantastic Valentine's Day.
Hope you're having a great Valentine's Day, everyone. We do have mostly cloudy and dry skies now across Oklahoma, but some wet weather, believe it or not too far away up here in Kansas. We see some light rain, and some of these light rain showers will find their way in the parts of north and eastern Oklahoma a little bit later on tonight. Then this next big weather maker comes in tomorrow night and Friday. When it does, a light winter mix heading into Friday and very blustery conditions to end the week. So a huge difference between tomorrow and Friday. Overnight lows in the 50s. It's supposed to be near freezing. Not even close, and that's not a bad thing. A low to moderate chance of rain north and east overnight. Dry, maybe foggy. Oklahoma City going west and south. So we do start off tomorrow morning with above the average high temperature for the afternoon. So that's going to set us up for near record highs in the afternoon. Wind gust right off the bat around 30 to 40. We'll shove those temperatures to around 70 at 11, 73 at noon, right about 80 tomorrow afternoon. The warm and windy conditions will, of course, elevate the fire danger. 80 for Oklahoma City. It'll be the warmest, hottest to the southwest. The record high tomorrow for Oklahoma City is 81 degrees. Cannot get any closer than that. Could we hit 81? Sure. Kind of depends on the cloud cover. We'll have to see. But one thing for sure, cold front wipes out this spring fling. Spotty rain tomorrow evening. A light winter mix is possible on Friday morning as this cold front keeps on booking to the south, southwest into central Oklahoma. A light winter mix of rain and snow. Please do not worry about this too much. Light amounts. Low travel impacts, rain down to the south by Friday afternoon and evening, rain heading south of Norman. But the big thing on Friday, temperatures 35 to 45 degrees colder each. And then a big wave of rain comes in Friday night into Saturday morning and possibly up to a quarter, maybe half inch of rain. And temperatures keep on going up this weekend too. Spring-like temperatures on Monday, maybe even some spring, strong and severe thunderstorms too.
Steven Adams of the Oklahoma City Thunder at Memphis tonight. Offensive rebound and one of Adams' specialties. He shows that off here, boards it. Carmelo Anthony for an open jumper that he kills. Thunder lost last night to Cleveland, but had good flow tonight with Adams finishing at the rim. They were up by 2 early in the first quarter. Then Paul George got cooking from three-point land. He shot 5 threes, hit all 5 in the first half, had 22 points in the first half. Meanwhile, Westbrook was active despite playing heavy minutes last night. He boards it and scores it amongst the trees, but a 20-point halftime lead disappeared in the second half with Tyreke Evans. 3 leading a charge that got the lead down to 3, but rookie Terrence Ferguson hit a couple big threes for the Thunder to stave off the Grizz. Then the final 24 seconds, clinging to a 4-point lead, Melo hit a dagger 3 to seal it for Oklahoma City. 121-114 Thunder head to the All-Star break off of a win. All right, I've got NFL draft on my mind. It's not that far off. April 26th, the first for the 3-day event. Do you remember this?
And on behalf of the 5-time world champion Dallas Cowboys, Hall of Fame owner Jerry Jones, Team Jones and the Jones family, Coach Jason Garrett, all the Cowboy players that played before me, that played with me, and played after me.
Now, I played this because, one, it's great sound. But the real reason is to let you know that the NFL Draft is coming to Fox 25 this April. Pro Football Talk, among others, reporting that Fox is going to pick up the feed from the NFL Network and air the draft starting April 26. ESPN will still have their broadcast. Of course, a couple weeks ago, we found out that Fox is going to have the Thursday Night Football package for the next 5 years. All right, during the football and basketball season, we spent a lot of time talking about the rankings of the Sooners and Cowboys football and basketball teams, and for good reason. They're usually competing for conference and national honors. But the Sooner gymnastics team has a ton of hardware as well. Sam Gannon takes a look at the women's squad.
It's always a challenge to win. It's always a challenge to win again, to repeat.
And your 2017 national champion, the Oklahoma Sooners.
The OU women's gymnastics team has done all of the above. The Sooners have won 3 national titles in the last 4 years, including 2014, 2016, and 2017. This year, they look to three-peat.
Going after that national championship, that's all they have in their eyesight right now.
KJ Kindler, who's now in her 12th season as Oklahoma's head coach, has her squad off to another supreme start. Sooners are #1 in the nation, with OU owning the top spots on the vault, uneven bars, and beam.
I think this team has so much potential. I don't think that we've competed at our full potential yet, so I'm really excited for that towards the end of the season when we're really starting to peak and everyone's hitting their routines as well as they do in practice.
OU has just 1 loss this season, but this team gets everyone's best shot. They showed their grit 2 weekends ago, topping then 4th-ranked UCLA after being tied heading into the final rotation.
I think something that we do a really good job at is just staying in our own little bubble and improving for ourselves. I think the stress really gets to us. We just do our job.
I wish I could put that kind of an element of pressure on them in practice, but it's just not real. When it's real, that's when you see their true colors. And you can obviously see that this team is a fighting team.
A fighting team that hasn't produced 6 top 10 ranked gymnasts this season based on talent alone.
You have to work for it, and that's what this program's built on. Do what it takes, make sacrifices. That's what sport is about, and if you want to win that big national championship at the end of the year, all those things have to happen for you. You have to be willing to give some things up to get something.
Deputy DNC Chair Congressman Keith Ellison had a private dinner with the leader of the Nation of Islam, Louis Farrakhan, and Iranian President Hassan Rouhani in 2013. Why does that matter? Well, Farrakhan has been widely reported as a racist and anti-Semite. He has called Adolf Hitler a very great man. He has referred to Judaism as a gutter religion. He has said that white people are subhuman. In the 1980s and 90s, Ellison, writing under the pen name Keith Hakeem, repeatedly praised Farrakhan, including calling him, quote, a role model for black youth. Ellison did apologize to Jewish leaders when he ran for Congress in 2006. He claimed to have rejected the Nation of Islam and its leader, Farrakhan. If that's the case, why was Ellison at a dinner and discussion with Farrakhan and the president of Iran, no less? Ellison has put out a statement that says in part that he was there to discuss issues such as Iran's nuclear ambitions. Ellison was not the only Democrat congressman at that event in 2013. He is also not the only Democrat to be way too cozy with Farrakhan. Pictures have recently surfaced on Twitter of Congresswoman Maxine Waters hugging Farrakhan in 2006. Here's the bottom line. Can you imagine if the deputy chair of the Republican National Committee had been at a dinner with hate groups whom he had supported? Media outlets would correctly sound a 4-alarm fire, and that person would rightfully have to resign. Where's the same level of outrage and condemnation over the closeness of certain Democrats with the hateful Louis Farrakhan? It is due to this double standard that embarrassing public officials such as Keith Ellison and Maxine Waters are allowed to remain in office.
And here's a peek at your 7-day forecast. Highs around 80 tomorrow, record setting, then a big chill on Friday. Temperatures rebound nicely this weekend. Some rain is possible early Friday morning, then again Saturday morning, Sunday evening. A small chance of rain, but on Monday with those spring temperatures, a couple severe thunderstorms are possible. Have a nice night.